In the States, it looks like the economy is starting to slow down, and there's a lot of talk now about a double dip. Presumably, the Federal Reserve will continue to create more money. I guess the stock market in the States has been rising not because of good economic conditions, but when so much money is being printed, it has to go somewhere, and some of it's inevitably going to end up in the stock market. So let me sort of ask you, if we go a double dip now into the U.S., normally one would expect you're going to go into a bear market, but if the Fed keeps quantitative easing, which presumably it will, even though it says it didn't, it's not going to, simply because the government's spending so much money, that could actually keep stocks going up because of this money creation as we go onto a path toward hyperinflation?
It could happen, but I actually doubt it. I really think that if another recession, call it a double dip or a new recession, is going to start here, corporate profits, earnings will massively disappoint, and another banking crisis will emerge. I think then market forces would, to the downside, would overwhelm these manipulative efforts by the Federal Reserve. Yeah, it's possible, but I think it's unlikely.
If we do get another banking crisis, people often ask me, if we get another Lehman, which a lot of people are expecting because there's still a lot of bad debt in the system, there's still too much leverage in the system. They ask me, well, is gold going to go down? And my response has been, well, I don't think so this time, because the Lehman problem was a liquidity crisis. The next banking crisis is going to be one where people seek safety rather than liquidity. Therefore, my guess is that the gold price will go up, not down. Is that something that you agree with, or would you take a different point of view on that?
No, I fully agree. I really think it's probable that gold has finally overtaken the safe haven status which US Treasury bonds once had. The more people distrust, and rightly so, the Treasury bond market, the more they have to look for an alternative. And well, other bond markets aren't an alternative, though this brings immediately gold into the game as the safe haven of last resort.
Yeah, I agree. If we do get another banking crisis, is it going to be, regional, or is it going to be global? And do you think it would start in the U.S. or Europe? I guess I'm asking, where are the bigger problems? Are they U.S. or the Europe? I know we're talking about horses in the glue factory, and it's hard to choose which one's the strongest. But what would be your guess? What's worse, U.S. or Europe in terms of the banking situation?
Europe. I think Europe is leading now on the way down in the next banking crisis because of this European sovereign debt problem, which is already, well, so extremely visible. There are many similarities right now to the situation in 2007, 2008. Then, of course, it was the housing bubble, the bursting of the housing bubble, and the mortgage credit problems, which were very, very obvious for everybody who wanted to see. Most choose just to look the other way. But if you wanted to see, well, you easily could. Now we have the sovereign debt crisis, which already started with this, with Greece more than 1 year ago. But again, most market participants have decided to ignore it, to just look the other way. This, for the time being, this has worked, but I really think it will stop working. And then the European banking sector is much, much more involved by a default of Greece and other insolvent countries. That's why I expect it to start here in Europe this time and not in the United States. Will we see bankruptcies? Well, yes, probably again. The banking sector, in my opinion, is much weaker because we have not yet healed the older wounds. They are still hurt, massively wounded
Yes.
most banks, and now an additional round of defaults will hit an already very weak sector. But the Lehman bankruptcy, in my opinion, was not really the problem. The problem was that the way it happened was chaotic. We have seen larger bankruptcies of banks in the United States which have gone very, very smoothly. Yeah, this was a very special situation that the regulation authorities could not step in because of the special legal frame for an investment bank in opposition to a normal bank.
Mm-hmm.
So bankruptcies are not necessarily disruptive for the economy or for the whole financial system if they are allowed to happen in a proper way.